Every character in Vagabond is becoming something. Musashi wants strength. Kojiro expresses genius. Marahachi wants significance. The Yoshioka men want reputation. Even the farmers and monks and minor figures exist in relationship to something they are moving toward or running from. Takuan Soho is the only exception, not because he has no depth, because he seems to have already arrived somewhere that everyone else is still walking toward. And the question Vagabond never quite answers, the one that sits underneath every scene he appears in, is whether that makes him the wisest character in the story or the loneliest. Fiction has a template for wise characters. They have answers. They deliver those answers at the right moment. They speak in a register that signals depth, measured, elliptical, philosophical. And the proof of their wisdom is usually that the protagonist eventually understands what they were saying and becomes better for it. Takuan fits that template on the surface. He speaks to Musashi in ways that open something. He appears at critical moments with insights that redirect the journey. He understands things before they happen and positions himself accordingly. But the template misses what makes him actually different from every other wise character in the story. Most wise characters in fiction see through people. Takuan sees through people and still accepts them. That distinction is everything. When a character sees through you, sees your pretensions, your fears, your contradictions, the usual result is a slight condescension. A gap opens between the one who sees and the one being seen. The wise character's clarity creates distance even when it's offered kindly. Takuan doesn't create distance. He sees Musashi completely, the frightened, confused, ambitious, lonely human being underneath both the legend of the great Musashi and the memory of Takezo the Beast. And the seeing doesn't make him pull back. It makes him move closer. That's rarer than intelligence, rarer than insight, rarer than any particular piece of wisdom he could deliver. It's a psychological condition that most people never arrive at. The complete absence of the need to protect an identity while in the presence of another person. Here is the detail that reveals everything about Takuan. He is never defending himself. Watch him across the length of the story. Whether he's speaking to Musashi, dealing with authority figures, encountering criminals, peasants, or the greatest swordsman alive, there is a remarkable absence of self-protection in him. Most characters in Vagabond are performing something. Even the most authentic ones, even Musashi at his most honest, are in relationship with an identity they are building or protecting or questioning. They have something at stake in how they are perceived. Takuan rarely feels like he's defending an identity, which creates an unusual quality in his presence. When you're not protecting yourself, when you have nothing to prove and nothing to defend, you become fully available to whoever is in front of you, not as a mirror, not as a judge, just as someone who is genuinely there. That quality is what gives his scenes their particular weight. It's also, I think, where the theory comes from, that Takuan is Inoue inside his own story. Not Inoue as he is, Inoue as he aspires to be. The writer who wants to meet his characters the way Takuan meets Musashi, without resistance, without requiring the story to be something other than what it already is, present with what is, rather than standing outside it asking what it means. If Takuan is the author's self-insertion, he's not the author's power fantasy. He's the author's philosophical aspiration, the person who has stopped requiring life to justify itself before he can be at peace with it. The most revealing thing about Takuan isn't any single exchange. It's a recurring pattern. Musashi meets life as a problem. Takuan meets life as reality. Musashi is constantly asking, what does this mean? What is strength? What is invincibility? What is worth? How should one live? Every encounter becomes material for the question. Every duel, every relationship, every moment of stillness is immediately converted into evidence for or against the answer he's looking for. Takuan seems gently and consistently to be asking a different question back. Why are you standing outside of it, asking? He doesn't feel like someone who found perfect answers to the questions Musashi is asking. He feels like someone who stopped requiring those answers in order to be at peace. That distinction matters more than it might seem. The Zen tradition has a concept, mushin, often translated as no mind, that describes not the absence of thought, but the absence of the need for thought to defend itself. The state where you can be fully present with what is without requiring it to be something other than what it is. Where you can meet a frightened young man or a powerful lord or a field of flowers with the same quality of attention because the attention itself has stopped being organized around what you need from the encounter. Takuan embodies that, and the crucial detail, the one that separates him from the merely transcendent, is that it doesn't make him cold. Yagyu Sekishusai is transcendent. He exists at a height that Musashi can see, but not yet reach. His wisdom has the quality of altitude, impressive, illuminating, slightly distant. Takuan feels available, reachable, human. His completeness doesn't create separation. It creates the opposite, a quality of presence that makes the person in front of him feel more real, not less. Here is what I think Inoue is doing with Takuan that most readers miss. Vagabond is a story about becoming, about the road, about what it costs and what it produces and whether the destination justifies the journey. Musashi is the living argument that the road matters, that striving, suffering, questioning, pushing past limitation produces something real and worth having. Takuan is the quiet counter-argument. Not that the road doesn't matter, that the road eventually ends somewhere, or should end somewhere. That looks like what Takuan already is. The striving resolves into presence. The questioning resolves into acceptance. The need to prove something resolves into the simple fact of being, without needing the being to mean anything beyond itself. He's not standing at the end of Musashi's path exactly. He's showing what the path looks like once the path itself ceases to be an obsession. And that's why he never feels like he needs to develop. Development in Vagabond is the movement from one state toward another, the arc of becoming. Takuan doesn't have an arc because he's already arrived at the state the arcs are pointing toward. He's the destination made human, not mythic like Sekishusai, not genius like Kojiro, just present, available, complete in the specific and unglamorous sense of a person who has stopped fighting themselves, which is the rarest thing in the entire manga. Most wise characters in fiction have answers. Takuan has something rarer than answers. He has the absence of the questions that make answers necessary. He doesn't know more than Musashi about what strength is, or what invincibility means, or how one should live. He just stopped requiring those questions to be resolved before he could be at peace with being alive. And being around someone like that, especially in a story full of striving, full of people demanding that life justify itself, feels like standing near something that has already settled, not certain, not enlightened in the dramatic sense, just no longer at war with what is. Musashi meets life as a problem. Takuan meets life as reality. That single difference contains everything. The road Musashi is walking, the road of becoming, of questioning, of demanding that suffering produce something worthy of the cost, ends somewhere. Takuan is what it looks like when someone arrives, not with triumph, not with revelation, not with the answer that makes all the previous questions worthwhile, just with the quiet, available, unglamorous fact of being fully here. That's what wisdom actually looks like. And it took the entire length of Vagabond for Musashi to begin to understand it. Build quietly. Walk your path.